Hey guys, let's get more news about Miami, but first, don't forget to subscribe and leave your like. Heat's Terry Rozier linked to federal gambling probe. Miami, with one player already under suspension, the Miami Heat now face the prospect of another potentially facing sanctions. According to a Thursday report from the Wall Street Journal, federal prosecutors have been investigating whether veteran NBA player Terry Rozier manipulated his performance as part of an illegal sports betting scheme. The investigation involves a timeframe before Rozier was acquired by the Heat in January 2024 in exchange for Kyle Lowry and a future first-round draft pick. Rozier has not been charged with a crime or accused of wrongdoing. The investigation is part of a probe that last year led to a criminal charge and lifetime NBA ban for Toronto Raptors forward Jontay Porter. Porter has since been convicted of wire fraud and faces a potential sentence of 41 to 51 months. The Heat referred questions for comment to the NBA. League spokesman Mike Bass issued a statement, saying, "In March 2023, the NBA was alerted to unusual betting activity related to Terry Rozier's performance in a game between Charlotte and New Orleans. The league conducted an investigation and did not find a violation of NBA rules. We are now aware of an investigation by the U.S. Attorney's Office for the Eastern District of New York related to this matter and have been cooperating with that investigation." Unlike the Heat's current indefinite suspension of forward Jimmy Butler for failure to render services and other perceived team violations, an NBA suspension of Rozier would afford the Heat salary cap and luxury tax relief of 50% of the salary lost during a suspension. An NBA banishment of Rozier would remove his salary from the Heat's payroll. Rozier is earning $24.9 million this season, with a $26.6 million salary for next season, the final year of his contract. He has earned more than $120 million in career NBA salary over his time with the Boston Celtics, Charlotte Hornets, and Heat. According to the Wall Street Journal report, the game in question took place on March 23, 2023, when Rozier was a member of the Charlotte Hornets. The betting on Rozier was strange enough that day to raise alarms at U.S. Integrity, a firm that works with sports entities, gambling operators, and government agencies to monitor betting markets for suspicious activity. U.S. Integrity notified sportsbooks and the NBA that unusual wagers were coming in on Rozier failing to meet certain statistical benchmarks, such as the total number of points or rebounds he would record in the game. Some of the sportsbooks stopped accepting bets on Rozier's stats that day, people familiar with the matter said. The report continued, "In this game, however, Rozier played just over 9 minutes before being substituted out during a timeout. He left with a foot injury and didn't return. Rozier would miss the remaining 8 games of that season." Rozier is in the midst of one of his worst seasons in years, averaging 11.9 points, his lowest scoring average since 2018-19 with the Celtics, when he averaged 9.0 points per game. His .288 three-point percentage is his lowest since shooting .222 from beyond the arc as a Celtics rookie in 2015-16. He is coming off one of his best performances of the season, scoring 22 points in Wednesday night's loss to the visiting Cleveland Cavaliers. The Heat next convene on Friday for practice at Casillas Center ahead of a 4-game road trip that begins Saturday night against the San Antonio Spurs. Dwayne Wade reveals cancer diagnosis. Miami, having kept the matter private, including during his interview sessions when a statue of his likeness was unveiled on the steps of Casillas Center in October, Miami Heat icon Dwayne Wade revealed on his podcast this week that he had a cancerous tumor removed from his kidney on December 18, 2023. Appearing to be in good health when he was honored by the Heat at the start of the season, Wade revealed on the Why with Dwayne Wade podcast that 40% of his right kidney was removed during the procedure. "My own journey to have that surgery, I think it was the first time that my family, my dad, my kids, they saw me weak," Wade said during the episode, titled A Men's Wellness Conversation. "That moment was probably the weakest point I've ever felt in my life." Wade, 43, said doctors told him the tumor could not be biopsied, making surgery necessary. "I had a personal decision to make, and what it was, if this is cancerous, if this tumor, this cyst is cancerous, on your kidney, you're 41 years old, you probably need surgery because it's something that needs to be removed so it doesn't spread, Wade said. Wade said the kidney screening was part of a full exam he scheduled after turning 40. I went in to get myself checked out, turned 40 years old, and I went in and I was like, Doc, I want to know everything about my body, head to toe. I've got some things that I'm feeling, I've got some stomach issues. These are the things I want us to check, but also check everything, Wade said. Health issues in his family led him to take a proactive approach, Wade said. Thank God that I did do the surgery, because the tumor was cancerous, he said. So I have one kidney, and I have another kidney that is 60%. They took 40% of my kidney to make sure that they could get all the cancer off of it. Before Wade's arrival to the Heat, Alonzo Mourning, another Heat player with a retired jersey, was sidelined by kidney illness, ultimately undergoing a transplant before returning to the team and winning the 2006 NBA championship alongside Wade. Now a minority owner of the Utah Jazz, Wade said he consulted with Mourning, now a Heat executive, about the health scare. Suns could pull off mega 4-team deal to land Jimmy Butler from Heat. The February 6 NBA trade deadline is just 1 week away and trade talks have begun to heat up between teams. Of course, Jimmy Butler of the Miami Heat is the top name in the trade market, and it is clear that his preferred destination is the Phoenix Suns. While this may be the case, Phoenix has yet to meet the asking price for Butler that Miami wants, and it is likely that they will need to add a third or even a fourth team to get a deal done. For the Suns to land Butler, they will first have to find a new home for Bradley Beal, which is easier said than done. Since Beal has a no-trade clause in his contract, he can shut down any trade he is part of, which has made it difficult for the Suns to trade him. Because of this, the Suns have been actively trying to find a team that would be willing to trade for Beal and also one that he would waive his no-trade clause for. While they have yet to find a trade suitor for him, with the recent De'Aaron Fox news from the Sacramento Kings, a new team may be interested in acquiring Beal. According to Forbes' Evan Sidery, the Suns may approach the Kings and the San Antonio Spurs to create a mega deal. Sidery also gave a hypothetical 4-team trade. In Sidery's mock trade, the Suns would receive Jimmy Butler and Colby Jones. The Spurs would acquire Fox and Kevin Huerter. Sacramento would add Beal, Keldon Johnson, 3 first-round picks from the Spurs and 1 first-round pick from Phoenix, while the Heat would acquire Harrison Barnes, Trey Jones, Trey Lyles, and 2 of the Suns' first-round picks. While this trade would be a mega deal that would shake up the NBA, it is unlikely to happen. Beal has not been interested in landing with the Kings, and Sacramento has shown no interest in acquiring him. Of course, that could change over the next week, which could see Sidery's mock trade come to life as it would work out well for every team involved. And are you a fan? What do you think of Jimmy Butler's departure? Leave your opinion in the comments.